recording this tutorial this morning from my backyard. I won't show you the whole thing. Well, we have 5 acres and it's lovely and I really enjoy it here, and I like stitching outside. It's very peaceful. You are probably going to hear some crashing and banging in the backyard. We have a little bit of construction going on down the driveway. We're having some concrete poured this morning for a new shop for my husband for his work. So this morning I printed out the instructions, and I forgot to grab my stitch markers from the shop, so I had to make a couple. So you can see what I did. I just tied 2 little loops of string, and those are going to work just fine for this. My yarn this morning is a mystery ball that was in my personal stash, and I just like the color, and I like that it's got a little bit of a thick, thin texture to it. It does have a little bit of wool in it, which makes me itch, but I don't have to wear this. I'm using it for demonstration. This is actually my first knitting tutorial for you, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, you know I'm a crochet expert, but knitting, and I love knitting, and I'm a very good knitter, but it's not my expertise. So we're going to make a little bit of a slip knot. I like to just grab my tail with my right hand and grab the working yarn with the other finger, so I've made kind of a loop. Then I'm going to stick my finger in from underside of the loop and flip it around twice. And then I'm going to grab the working yarn and pull a loop through and pull it tight. And that is a really nice way. And then you can just double check. This one is going to tighten by pulling the working yarn. If you happen to grab the tail, then you'll tighten by grabbing the tail. Either way, it just really doesn't matter. Slip knots there's so many different ways to do them. We're going to pop that slip knot onto our knitting needle. I'm going to do a knit cast on, holding my tail out of the way, because many of us knitters know what a sad, frustrating thing it is to actually knit with the tail, unless you're intentionally doing a long tail cast on. It's not a happy experience. So let's see, we're going to get my yarn to the right side there. Okay, so we're going to knit cast on 5. And my circular needles this morning seem to be a little cold and very springy this morning. Sprung, they've got a lot of sprung going on. Now row 1, let's see here, see if we can get these untangled just a bit. There we go, that's a little better. Now for row 1, we are going to knit 2, and we're going to place one of the markers on here. The markers are to stay on either side of your center stitch. This helps you to identify your center. So we've knit 2, place the marker, we're going to knit the center stitch, place the next marker, and knit the last 2 stitches. This yarn was, this pattern was originally designed with Queensland Uluru, which is a lace weight yarn that has a lot of loft and fuzz to it, so almost a mohair look to it. It does a very good job with lacy, delicate stuff, but it doesn't show up in tutorials very well because it is so tiny. So I am using a chunkier yarn for this. But you can use any yarn you want to create this shawl. It's just fun. It's a great stitch. It's a great simple stitch. We're going to make sure that my tail is out of the way, and we're going to do row 2. We're going to knit 2, and we're going to yarn over. We're going to bring that yarn forward between the 2 knitting needles. We're going to slip the marker, knit that center stitch, slip the marker, bring my yarn forward for my yarn over, and knit. Oops, there we go. And knit the last 2 stitches. Now we've gone from 5 stitches to 7 stitches. All right, I'm going to turn our work. Row 3. Okay. Row 3. We are going to knit 2. Yarn over, bring that yarn forward, knit 1, slip the marker, knit the center stitch, slip the marker, and knit across the row. Row 4, we're going to repeat row 3. So we're going to turn our work. Make sure we've got that working yarn, not the tail. We're going to knit 2. Do our yarn over, knit 1, slip the marker, knit the center stitch, slip the marker, and knit across the rest of the row. Okay, there we go. You can see you can see where those yarn overs are starting to form. It takes a few rows sometimes to really see how it develops. Row 5 is where the body of the pattern is, and this is the row that you are going to continue to repeat until you run out of yarn or your shawl is the size that you want it. So I'll do it a few times for you. You're going to knit 2, yarn over, knit 2 together, and yarn over. And then you repeat that. If there were more stitches until this marker, then you just keep doing that. I'm going to see if I can readjust this. Here we go, so you can see that. So then we're going to slip the marker. We're going to knit the center stitch, slip the marker, and knit across the row. Knit across the rest of it. So you're only doing the increasing and the lace making on the first half of the row. All right, let's do it again. Now, I'm going to do it again. So we're going to knit 2. Yarn over, knit 2 together, and yarn over, slip the marker, knit the center stitch, slip the marker, and knit the rest of the way across the row. Turn our work. I'm going to do this a few times so you can really see how it begins to show itself here. So we're going to knit 2. Always begin with your knit 2. A lot of people, you're more than welcome to slip that first stitch if you want to. Some people really prefer that in stabilizing their knitted edge and keeping it nice and straight. So we'll slip that one for this one here, and then we're going to knit that one and then yarn over. Then we're going to knit 2 together and yarn over. Oh, but we don't have 2 to knit together right here. We only have a knit 1, so we're just going to knit it. Just knit that one. Pass the marker, knit the center, pass the marker, and knit across the row. And you're going to have that every other row. You're going to have that where there's that one left over at the center, because we're only increasing each row by 1 at the beginning. So some rows are going to have an even number and some rows are going to have an odd number. Okay, here we go again. We're going to pass that one. I told you we were going to do that, didn't I? Okay, we're going to slip that one, knit that one, yarn over, then knit 2 together, yarn over, and knit that one. Slip the marker, knit the center, slip the marker, and knit across the row. Of course, with this chunky yarn, you're really not going to be able to see the lacy effect in the same way that you can with the more delicate yarn, but that's okay. You're starting to see it emerge right here, some of the holes there. Let's do it a few more times. We'll slip the first one and then knit it, and knit the second one and yarn over. That's our increase each time, and then knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2 together, yarn over. Then we're going to slip the marker, knit the center stitch, slip the marker, knit across the row. As you can see, once you get the rhythm of this, it's really pretty simple. It's nice to have a pattern that really allows the yarn to just be the showcase. The yarn does all the work in this, and it's a pattern that you can relax with. You don't have to do a huge amount of concentrating with once you get into your rhythm. I'm going to slip that first stitch, knit the second stitch, yarn over for our increase, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2 together, yarn over, slip the marker, knit the center stitch, slip the marker, and knit across the row. I'll do a little bit more of this and you can just watch how it goes. It's really pretty comfortable knitting, and you get this really pretty thing going on here. So I'll just knit a few more rows. Appreciate your comments on my tutorials, and welcome all of the new subscribers. Our numbers keep growing, which is really exciting for me. I enjoy that a lot. Helps me grow. I still cannot get my comments to work on my YouTube channel or my blog, so I would encourage you to pop over to facebook.com/perfectly naughty. Ask your questions there, and I will get back to you as quickly as I can until I can figure out what setting I don't have correct in my YouTube and my blog. We're going to slip that first one, knit the second one. This is your increase right here, and then the pattern, the design pattern for the lace is actually here in the knit two together, yarn over, because that replaces the one you knit together. So then you're gonna do your knit two together, yarn over, knit two together, yarn over. Slip, knit, slip, knit across. You're just going to continue repeating this row until your shawl is the size that you wanted, or you've run out of yarn, or whatever it is that makes you happy. I like happy stitchers. Let's take a look here. And now you can starting to be able to see the laciness emerge. It's a little difficult with the larger yarn in here, but you can see it. It's really pretty. It's really simple. If you happen to be bi-craftual, you could also consider crocheting a little edge on here, maybe adding some beads if you wanted to, or you could even just add the beads in a couple of different ways. You could use if the beads are going to fit on your yarn, you could stick a crochet hook through the hole of the bead, pull a loop of your yarn through the bead hole and pop it onto your stitch and set a bead in place, maybe at the beginning of each row or the beginning and end of each row if you want a lot of beads. You could crochet an edge on here with beads that would maybe have a little texture, maybe a contrasting yarn or a shiny slippery yarn, or there's so many options. So this is just the base. This is to kickstart your creativity and inspire you to do amazing, beautiful, wonderful stitching. Hope to see you over on the Facebook page at facebook.com/perfectly naughty. And you can sign up for our newsletter that comes out once a month. Well, it comes out whenever I feel like it, actually. But there on the Facebook page, you'll find the link for that. And look forward to hearing from you and seeing you and talking to you soon.